She didn't answer. The sparks in her hands flickered, weak but still stubborn, and you could feel the danger closing in like a trap. "Last chance," the masked leader said, stepping closer, and what happened next felt seriously too close. The red dots tightened. Every move felt cold and planned, like they had done this 100 times before. Nyra's heart pounded. She could run or she could fight, but she chose wrong. The moment she moved, they were actually faster. A pulse, silent and invisible, slammed into her chest. Her fire exploded for a split second, then vanished, gone, like it was never there. She collapsed, gasping, with her hands suddenly empty. "Power suppression confirmed," one of them said. Panic hit harder than any flame, because this was not just capture, and they could literally turn her off. As they closed in and locked restraints around her wrists, Nyra felt it deep inside, buried under whatever they used on her. And something was still burning, small, angry, alive. Her eyes flickered for just a second, and of course one of them noticed. "She's still active." The leader paused. Then, almost curious, he said, "Good." Nyra looked up, fear mixing with something new, something dangerous. Rage. Because if they thought she was powerless, they had no idea what they just took. They took her underground, with no windows and no sound, just steel and silence. Nyra woke strapped to a chair, wrists locked, pulse weak, and her fire was gone. A glass wall separated her from them. They were watching, recording. "Subject is stable," someone said. "Begin extraction." Machines hummed to life. Tubes, lights, something cold pressed against her skin. "Your energy, it doesn't belong to you." The leader's voice echoed through the room. "We're taking it back." Pain hit instantly, sharp and ripping, like something was being pulled out of her chest. Nyra screamed. The monitors spiked. The room shook. Then darkness came. For a second, there was nothing. And then deep inside, beneath everything they were draining, something answered back. Not fire, not light. So what was it? Something heavier, older. Her eyes snapped open, and this time there was no glow, just black. The machines started failing, one by one. "Power spike!" someone yelled. The restraints cracked, not from strength, but from pressure. It felt like the air itself was turning against them. Nyra stood slowly, breathing different now, calm, almost too calm. The leader stepped back for the first time. "That's not the same energy," he said. Nyra tilted her head, her voice lower and unfamiliar. "You took the fire." A pause. The room dimmed. "But you left the part that was holding it back." The alarms screamed as the facility locked down, steel doors slamming, red lights flooding the halls. But nothing felt louder than the silence around her. Nyra stood in the center of the room, eyes dark, the air bending like it didn't want to touch her. "Contain her!" someone shouted. Too late. The floor cracked without her moving. Guards rushed in, weapons up, fear written all over them. One fired. The shot never reached her. It stopped, then dropped, like gravity had changed its mind. Nyra took a single step forward, and the pressure hit, heavy, crushing, invisible. One by one, they dropped to their knees, not burned, not thrown, just forced down. The leader tried to speak, but his voice shook now. "What are you?" Nyra looked at her hands. No flames, no glow, just power she didn't understand. "You were studying the wrong thing," she said quietly. The walls groaned, glass shattered. The entire level began to collapse around her, but she didn't move. She didn't need to. And as the alarms faded under the sound of bending steel, one thought echoed in her mind. Clear, calm, terrifying. She wasn't losing control anymore. She was becoming something else. The city felt it before it saw her. Pressure in the air, like a storm holding its breath. The facility was gone, swallowed by silence and shattered steel. Nyra stood at the center of it all, untouched. Not fire, not darkness, something in between. Above her, the sky twisted, clouds pulling inward, drawn to her presence. Across the city, lights flickered. Phones died. Everything paused. And then who came? Not soldiers, not machines. Something older, watching, waiting. For her. Nyra looked up, calm now. No fear left. She finally understood. The fire was never the power. It was the limit. A voice echoed, not outside, but inside her. Balance must be kept. She took a step forward, and the pressure across the city vanished instantly. Controlled, focused, chosen. The Watchers didn't attack. They didn't speak. They simply disappeared. Because they knew. She wasn't a threat anymore. She was something worse. Something necessary. Nyra turned, the city lights slowly coming back to life behind her. No mask. No name whispered in fear. Just a quiet understanding spreading through the streets when things fall out of balance. She will return. Not as a hero. Not as a villain. But as something the world can't survive without.